So we're over in Stones Cross, which is an urban trail. Multiple road crossings. Kaiser actually took the scent from a tree, so the trail layer rubbed their hand on a tree trunk. I got Kaiser to sniff it and then tell him to trail. I just didn't capture that beginning bit. I forgot to switch my GoPro on. So negative there, giving me a negative indication to the left.
Pardon?
Again, I'm just not moving, just letting him work out the direction of travel. And as he starts moving, then I start moving. And now he's on the trail. So keeping the lead nice and short for obvious reasons. Still let him have a sniff. So that's a good line I've got there. That's from K9 Trail Layers. The harness is from K9.lv. Fantastic harness. So we got the first road crossing coming up. He gives me a negative down that way. He's looking, but gives me a negative. And looking across the road. So I know it's across the road at this turning. At this junction rather, sorry. And he's heading in the right direction. Having a little sniff of dog wee. So I just sort of pull him off it and then tell him he's a good boy when he gets back on.
Good lad.
So he gives me a head flick there. Gives me a head flick there twice. And so I know now that that's the direction of travel. So he carries on a little bit. There's a little bit of a head flick there to the left.
No, because he
so I know that it's across the road there. So I tell him to work on, and he goes straight across the road.
He looked over there. He gave that indication early on.
Gives me a nice pull in the right direction.
So maybe we're going through there or down the path.
Negative there. Goes in the right direction. So he stops and I just stop, letting him just work out which way. Negative to the left. And now carries on the trail. So I could just give him a little bit more line because it's safe to do so. And this was actually one of Kaiser's best trails, really, I think, given the circumstances, and also probably one of the better trails that I've actually read and started to learn to read Kaiser a lot better. The little head flicks, the turns, the negatives, something that by videoing all of his trails, watching them back, been able to really understand when Kaiser's on the trail or when he's, not on the trail. So his nose is down, tell he's on the trail.
Both getting much more thoughtful about the whole thing.
Trying to keep the lead short, again for obvious reasons. So he's just having a little sniff around the posts. So I'm just standing still, just letting him work out. So I kind of know it's straight on. He's given me that look a couple of times, straight on. Here he's just sniffing at dog wee.
Work on.
So I tell him to work on.
Good boy.
And he gets back on the trail.
Good boy.
which he'd indicated seconds earlier by looking in that direction. So heads down, sniffing. We've got another road crossing coming up now, which obviously I didn't know. So he looks left, no, looks across the road,
Work on.
looks across the road. I tell him to work on. He gives a quick to the right there and then immediately gives me a great negative.
Negative.
Carries on the trail.
No, I think he's coping well.
Wind
actually. I think he said he had
was
problem
a
here last time we were
southwesterly,
here.
so I think it was blowing from where we are. It was blowing from left to right at this point.
Where we're going.
So he goes straight across the road, straight where the trail layer had been, in between the cars. Again, a quick negative there to the right,
There's no way he can come over here.
and then back on the trail.
Yeah.
So I think the wind is blowing straight in front of us here. So I give him a little bit more line because it's safe to do so, then trying to catch him up. So he gets to the trail layer and then he decides, oh, I'm just going to have a little sniff. There's a bit of dogweed here. And then he goes back to the trail layer, gives a nice sit indication, and then he gets his
Good
reward.
lad.
A really good trail from Kaiser
Good
today.
boy.
Oh,
Good
you've got that
lad.
thing that explodes.
Good lad.
Very good.
Good boy.